Donald Trump has hilariously trolled Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau once again, but this time it's so much worse because Trudeau is battling through the toughest time of his career, with calls from all sides to step down intensifying. Donald Trump wheeled out his favourite line, again referring to the Prime Minister as the Governor of the great state of Canada, in a post on X. He said, "The great state of Canada is stunned as the Finance Minister resigns or was fired from her position by Governor Justin Trudeau. Her behaviour was totally toxic and not at all conducive to making deals which are good for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. She will not be missed." Online commentators went wild over the post, with this person saying, "Trump is treating Canada like the non-serious country it is. The world is laughing at Trudeau." This commentator doubled down, saying US President Donald Trump is 100% correct that Chrystia Freeland was totally toxic and will not be missed by the very unhappy citizens of Canada. Freeland was a head-bobbling evil troll who froze the bank accounts of freedom-loving Canadians and ruined Canada's finances. And commentators are also applauding Trump for involving himself in Canada's politics, which is forcing change on a local level despite him being in an entirely different country.
Now, this is very exciting because if Trudeau does indeed go down, it's going to lead to elections where Conservatives are highly likely to romp it in. And it's very interesting, Gabby, because this came about with his finance minister because she and he had a disagreement about Trump saying, "I'm going to slap 25% tariffs on all goods coming from Canada unless you guys get your border under control and stop trafficking drugs and people. Thank you very much." So she had a falling out with him. So we can actually thank Trump for what looks like deposing a useless leader in his neighbouring country.
Yeah, and we've heard from Trump as well. He's come out, of course, trolling in true Trump style, calling Justin Trudeau Governor Justin Trudeau. But it's funny because Justin Trudeau just a couple of weeks ago was calling himself a feminist and saying how sad it was that America rejected electing a female president not once but twice. And then here he is having a thought with his female finance minister. But, you know, I think this is the Trump effect in action happening that we're seeing over in Canada as well, because Justin Trudeau has just been known as being a woke leader.
This commentator agreed, saying, "Donald Trump is the voice of the Canadian people. Donald Trump's humiliation is only the latest in a string of unfortunate events for Canadian Prime Minister in recent times. Rumours of his likely resignation are swirling and he is under intense pressure from his party and opposition at the moment. It seems like the entire country is against their Prime Minister, with Trudeau being heckled on the street yesterday." Caleb Bond doubled down on this, saying good riddance to bad rubbish, signalling the end of the woke leaders.
The proud feminist Bronwyn pushing the women out of his cabinet. But this suggestion now that he might go before the next election, good riddance to bad rubbish, I say.
Absolutely. I mean, he is a socialist.
Oh, yes.
Through and through, and they always tell us. So you don't have to worry. But the really interesting thing is that his coalition partner, which he depends upon, the leader of that party, I think it's called the New Democratic Party, has called for him to resign. There is a call for an election to be held over Christmas. That's how bad it is. But the leader of the opposition in Canada is very strong. He is coming out as strong, and I think he will clearly win that next election. Whether it's held over Christmas because his own people throw him out, or whether they have to wait until the new year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one way or another he's going, but one by one, Stephen, these woke leaders are just slowly falling off. We got rid of Biden, got rid of Kamala, though apparently she's going to have another go. I'll get to that a bit later. Trudeau's gone.
God help the Democrat Party.
I know.
Look, I think it's actually more interesting at the moment. I mean, you can point to Trudeau. You can move to the Conservatives in Germany, which government's in meltdown. You can talk about Macron in France in meltdown. Keir Starmer only just won the election in meltdown. We've seen Japan just go through a leadership change, and South Korea impose martial law for 6 hours. So I actually think if you look across the Western democratic world, you're actually seeing quite an extraordinary set of circumstances around leadership and strong leadership.
But Dalhousie University political analyst Laurie Turnbull says Trudeau's saviour complex will not allow him to leave without a fight.
Like to see whether he actually steps aside. Because if somebody else is going to take over, they need some time. This party has been totally remade in Justin Trudeau's image. When he became the leader in 2013, the party was at the lowest point that it had ever been. It was at 34 seats in the House of Commons, which is, more awful than any Liberal thought was possible at the time. And then he came in 2 years later, won a majority government with 184 seats. And so this was no wonder he has a savior complex, because this is a pretty unusual situation. But since then, his, like it will for anybody, right? His brand has tarnished a bit. People can only have so much political capital, and he's lost a lot of his. And so I think now for a lot of people, he's at the end of the road, but he doesn't seem to grasp that. And so he's not making a space available for somebody else to come in and take over.
There you go. All right, great to get a wrap of things. Laurie Turnbull, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.